Let's just start with this quote because it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. This is not surveillance. It is participatory remembrance. I mean, wow. We're not just diving into a new piece of tech today, we're exploring a massive vision for how we, as a planet, could learn and build wisdom together. So today's explainer is all about a concept called the universal ledger, and it's being presented as a new foundation for something our world really, really needs right now: trust. We're going to see how it's designed to be the backbone of a much, much bigger vision. Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why trust is such a huge problem. Then, we'll get into what the universal ledger actually is and how it's supposed to work. After that, we'll see how it plugs into a bigger picture. And finally, what it could all mean for us. Okay, let's start with a fundamental challenge here. Our world is more connected than ever, right? So why does building a new system for trust feel so incredibly urgent right now? Just think about our most critical systems. We're talking finance, supply chains, even healthcare. So often, they're just slow. They're bogged down by inefficiency, fraud, and a total lack of transparency. We have to rely on all these middlemen to verify every little step, and that just adds cost, time, and a whole lot of risk. That is the core problem the universal ledger is trying to solve. So if that's the problem, what's the solution on the table? Well, it's this idea of a universal ledger. The whole concept is to create a new shared source of truth that absolutely everyone can see and verify for themselves. At its heart, the universal ledger is basically a digital record book. But it's not just any old record book. It's global, so anyone can be a part of it. It's decentralized, which means no single company or government has control. And, this is key, it's immutable. Once something is written down, it's there forever. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hey, this sounds exactly like a blockchain. And you're not wrong, it uses that same core technology. But here's the huge difference. Early blockchains were almost all about money, right? Financial transactions. The universal ledger is way more ambitious. It's designed to be holistic, to record all kinds of value: economic, social, even ecological. Just think about that for a second. It means you could track a product's ethical sourcing just as easily and verifiably as you track its price. So we get the big idea, but how does this technology actually create a truth that everyone can agree on? Let's pop the hood and look at the mechanics. Okay, it all rests on these 4 pillars. Decentralized means no one's in charge. Immutability and cryptographic security make the records basically tamper-proof. And because anyone can check the records, you don't have to trust some central bank or corporation anymore. You just have to trust the math. It's a system built to work without needing you to trust any single person. And the process is actually pretty straightforward. First, an interaction happens. Could be a payment, could be a data transfer. Then a whole network of independent computers, or nodes, checks it out to make sure it's legit. Once they give it the green light, it gets bundled into a secure encrypted block. And then, that block gets permanently chained to the one right before it. And just like that, you have a perfect, unchangeable, chronological record. All right, now let's zoom out and see how this amazing piece of tech fits into something way, way bigger. What exactly is the ledger's role inside this thing called the Messiah platform? So, the sources describe Messiah as a planetary-scale supercomputer, which is a pretty wild concept. It's this vision of a global system that weaves together AI, all our smart devices, and our actual human experiences. So if you imagine Messiah as the body of this new system, well then the universal ledger is its backbone. It's what provides the integrity and strength to hold the entire thing up. And this is the part that's so crucial. The ledger isn't just some fancy database. Its creators see it as the moral and operational foundation for the entire Messiah ecosystem. They call it the ethical spine. It's there to make sure every single action within this huge system is grounded in a reality that everyone can see and agree on. I know, this can all sound a little abstract, a little out there. So what would it actually do? What are the real-world, practical applications for all of us? Let's take a look. The potential changes are just massive, especially in our biggest sectors. In finance, we're talking instant, verifiable transactions without all the delays and hidden fees. In healthcare, imagine having a single, secure medical record that you, and only you, control. And for governance, this could bring real, hardcore transparency to things like voting or tracking how public money gets spent. So when you zoom out, the benefits really snap into focus. First, you've got a massive reduction in fraud because everything is transparent and permanent. Second, you get huge efficiency gains by just cutting out all those middlemen we rely on now. And third, and this could be a real game changer, it could unlock true global collaboration, creating a trusted way for countries to work together on our biggest problems. And it's super important to remember this one key point from the source material. This isn't being sold as some finished product you can buy off the shelf. It's a vision of an emergent system, something that's described as coming into being right now, evolving in response to this global need for truth and for making sense of things.
Which really just leaves us with one final and pretty powerful question to chew on. If we actually had a single source of truth that we could all rely on, what would we build with it? What could we create?